A very common use case in observability is the need for multiple vendors to solve different problems. Now, Coralogix easily processes logs, metrics, traces, and security data in a single platform, but some organizations may have vendor lock-in issues with leaving certain vendors, or perhaps they just don't want to. Their developers have adopted it and they're fine. And at Coralogix, we're not trying to push you away from the tools you love, we just want to show you how great Coralogix is. So what we've done is we've built this custom actions feature. What custom actions enable you to do is to connect your different vendors together, different solutions all into one place. So a custom action can be any URL template you want, and it will allow you to connect from your logs or your metrics through to a Grafana instance hosted in your Kubernetes cluster, or a Datadog instance that you've got, or it could be an Elasticsearch cluster, an OpenSearch stack, whatever you like. And what this enables you to do is to effectively connect all of your different tools together into one key workflow. And this is a real technical bedrock of a multi-vendor strategy, rather than having lots of different vendors and having an issue with tool sprawl. Let's take a look at some examples about how this works, and then we'll look at how to define one. So you can see here that I have my logs. I've ingested a few thousand logs into the Coralogix account. Nginx is generating logs. Now what I can do is I can hover over this into actions, and I define this Datadog dashboard action here. And when I open this up, you'll see that I'm zooming in on the Nginx deployment already. Now what this action did was it actually read the value from the log, and then it redirected to Datadog, and it included the actual name of the Kubernetes deployment in the URL. And because it's in the URL, Datadog then picks it up and updates its dashboard to render out information specific to that Nginx deployment. You can see here the number of replicas. So it's not just logs, it's also data map as well. So another example, we have the same kind of setup. We have a Kubernetes cluster here running the Linux operating system, broken down in data map by the deployment name and then the pod name. So once again, we go to Nginx deployment here, and we can see that one of those nodes isn't too happy. So we go to actions, and we can open up a new relic instance instead. Once again, this will template new Nginx deployment into the URL. And what this means is that you can easily surf between different vendors and different data types. Now, custom actions in Coralogix could also connect internally. So you could connect between your logs and, for example, a Kubernetes dashboard here. It's completely up to you. But the power of this is really down to the extensibility of the feature. So let's take a quick look at how to define one. So hover over actions and go to manage actions. This will bring up your actions tab. You can see these two actions that I've just used. The Datadog example here is quite nice. So you can see here in the URL that we have this template variable, app name, and then we have m.subsystem name. And you'll see the autocomplete appears when I hover over that. We'll write that again from scratch so you can see what that's like. So double brackets, and this opens up a templating dialog. And then if you type .m, this gives you some metadata. You can also do .d, by the way, and access every indexed field in the log. .m, and then we can have subsystem name. So this is what the value was in place before. You could dig into $d, and you could look at some of the Kubernetes keys. You can look at some of the Coralogix keys. But for us, using the metadata in this case is absolutely fine. So, subsystem name. Now, what this enables you to do is to create these really nice links between all of your data. And because it's so extensible, because it's so flexible, you're just templating a URL, any browser-based redirect will work. So you can jump to Grafana, you can jump to Kibana, you can jump to anything that's driven by the URL. And this really opens up what you can do and how you can connect Coralogix. So this is just a simple example and a simple run through of how extensibility in Coralogix works and why it's so powerful.